Hi, this is Samina Sheikh here on Zoom channel, and with me today I have the handsome hunk Paras Patel, who's the chosen one right now for this interview. So join me as I welcome him only on Zoom. Lovely to have you, Paras, and I must say that you are the chosen one right now.
Apparently. Thanks for that lovely intro. I'll remember that for many days to come.
But I have to definitely know, how come the chosen one and how it happened for you.
It was a very unique experience only because as an actor, you're auditioning for roles. So when I auditioned for this role, I got it through a friend who was helping cast the show, and she felt that I would be right for the role because the role just had different traits that were similar to me. So I auditioned for it, and then she told a friend, but didn't tell me that the director really liked my tape. And so I was kind of expecting to get the call. So I had to do one more round of an audition. During that audition, it was done through Zoom because I was back home visiting family, so I couldn't go in person. And then it glitched. So I'm in the middle of this very long monologue, which is a long dialogue speech, and it froze. So I panicked because as Boris, I freak out easily. So I was just like looking every which way, and then I finished the audition because the internet got back together, and then the director was like, "Great, you'll hear from us soon," and I didn't hear back.
Oh.
So I didn't get the part. But then a week into filming, I got a call, and then they changed their mind, and they went with me. The director's wife felt like it was just a calling she had, and so yeah, never looking back since. But it just goes to show you never know what path or what journey you're going to be on, and to just keep going. So that's literally how I became the chosen one.
So as we said, as you said, the auditioning was not that easier for you, but then suddenly, of course, you were the chosen one. I have to know about the role. The role seems to be quite a different one also. It
Yeah.
was challenging, I'm sure, and people started guessing that are you also individually, suffering from something like that, being an autistic person.
Yeah.
So how was it like playing that role for you?
It's such a challenge for me because portraying Matthew, who is neurodivergent, is it was something that it was a dream for me to play because I know how it feels to not feel represented or feel accepted or understood. And a lot of people who are neurodivergent kind of go through that. And I don't see it that they're suffering, I see it as a strength and they find their own identity. And so you see that in Matthew's storyline. So digging into the material and the traits and the behavior was very exciting for me. And it was a teamwork process, with our showrunner, director, Dallas Jenkins. And we kind of incorporated, and we really connected finding the behavior and the traits and just kind of getting to his voice. And I just remember it being something very special to me because I know how it feels to not feel like you belong. And I know I know the other side of it when you do find that acceptance and how much it strengthens you and gives you that confidence. And so you see that in Matthew. And so he's very proud of who he is. And you see that along his journey.
But of course, as Paras, as we saw your role also, it's very different. It's difficult to even, as you said, neurodivergent is not that easier. Did you take any, references or inspirations from any of these actors? In Bollywood, we have seen like Shah Rukh or say Priyanka Chopra in their respective movies playing the autistic, characters. Have you taken references from any of these characters, while playing the role?
Interestingly, I like to find my own voice and how I want to tell it. So I actually volunteered at organizations that have neurodivergent kids. And I'm big on observations. I'm one of those guys that will sit in a coffee shop and I'll just watch people.
Okay.
I love interactions. I like to pretend I'll pick someone out and be like, oh, this person had a bad day or so. I just like to create these stories, and I think that fuels me into getting more into my body language and voice. And so that's what I would do. I'd volunteer at organizations around LA, and then just speaking to Dallas and watching the behavior. I watched a series called Love on the Spectrum, and just to get into those nervous moments and just how to deal with energy or emotion, like when you feel emotion. And so I kind of dug into that. But yeah, I'm very familiar with, the My Name is Khan and Barfi and even Koi Mil Gaya. So like all those projects, and I think they all represented themselves very well. But for me, it starts with myself and portraying a character, and that's how I moved forward.
I have to know this, since Paras, a lot of people are curious to know more about you. Being born in India, moving to LA, how the journey has been for you.
So I was born in America,
Okay.
but I like to say, even though I'm Videshi, I'm Hindustani in my heart, because I used to come every summer to India with my mom and my brother. And I just I felt like I belonged here more. Growing up in the States was a little hard just because, you look different. And so sometimes you're not really treated like you belong. And so whenever I came to India during the summers, I just never wanted to go home. And I used to watch a lot of Bollywood films, and just remember feeling like it was like an escapism to me. And I felt like all my problems or whatever I felt were just temporarily away. And I love being here. So it's fantastic to be back right now after 14 years, especially for the show The Chosen. It's kind of full circle moment because I actually wanted to work as an actor in Bollywood first. And so I took like Hindi classes, I did dancing, and did some karate, like martial arts stuff, just to be like the full, well-rounded Bollywood hero. But I felt like my calling was for somewhere else, and I just gave that a shot.
And like as you have given a shot, to The Chosen, you have also worked, in the world of, arts completely, as I would say that,
Yeah.
you have worked on that side major per se, you have not come on this side, you have never explored. Would you prefer like exploring over here?
I would love to explore over here, but it feels like the Wild West. I mean, I think, obviously it's connection based, just like how it is in Hollywood. But, I always believe never say never. You never know who's watching you and what can happen. And speaking of watching, whenever I used to come here in the summer, do you know what channel I was watching for the music?
What?
Zoom. And
Oh.
I used to look in the mirror and go, Isko deko.
Oh
Because of the
yeah.
back, like in like the late 2000s.
I'm actually happy and
Yeah.
elated to know that people have such a good recall value of Zoom.
Because you'd see like the ticker of all the news, but then they'd play the same trailers over and over again. So my uncle would get so mad at me because I would just sit there to listen to the new music,
Yeah.
and just watch the trailers. And I would just like the song, so I would just keep it playing. And he would just get frustrated because it would just be nonstop same music over and over again. But that's what I would do. I was always watching Zoom.
Yeah, that's lovely to know, and I'm
Yeah.
sure the people watching Zoom right now would be very excited to know
It's
more
so
from you.
full circle moment just to be back in India, but then
That's
also
true.
talking to you. So I'm just really happy.
But as we talk about your work, Paras, what attracts your attention the most? Like for example, a role like this is very difficult. Do you prefer doing such challenging roles, which kinds of challenges the entire inner core?
100%. I feel like throwing yourself into something that you're not familiar with or that's challenging helps you grow. And that's very similar to Matthew on The Chosen, where he leans into things that he's afraid of or has anxiety from, and it makes him a stronger person. So first and foremost, what I love in a project is the writing. I remember when I got the project, or just the auditions, we got the first 4 episode scripts, and it was just written so beautifully as a historical drama, and just the dialogue felt like poetry. And I remember me and my castmates now were like, those episodes were just written so beautifully that we were just like, we have to try to audition for this.
True.
And that's kind of what attracts me to a role, is the writing.
Also in the US, what attracts people across the nations, different worlds, I must say that, different countries, is the political side of US. And recently Donald Trump, got selected, for the elections. What do you have to say on that? It was a long kind of a debate going on between Kamala and Donald, and a lot of conversations takes place, even in US. Topics like, the race, and different kinds of,
Yeah.
many such, discrimination which takes
Yeah.
place at societal level has been spoken of. What do you have to say on that?
There's a lot of divide going into the world, but what I love about The Chosen is that it kind of unites people. You have so many people from different backgrounds watching the show, and they can, they respond to it in their own way. And I just would encourage people to watch this show because although there is a lot of turmoil, a lot of heavy stuff going on right now, you should lean into understanding your neighbor more. All it takes is communication. You never know what you're missing. I feel like people aren't listening to each other right now. Then all you need to do is listen. So, lend a hand and walk through together. There's a lot of bigger fish to fry, and I think we need to be more united on that front.
And as you said, you have said that in recent interviews also that The Chosen is mainly so for also, to be seen, to be feel seen.
Yes.
And a lot of people deal with that, identity issues right now. They really don't know who they are. They try to, kind of explain, how they want to be seen in the world. But many times, that gets lost. The vision gets lost. People don't see them as they want to. The perception keeps on changing. What are your thoughts on that?
Samina, that's a very good statement you made. I get so many messages from people watching the show that they feel like they are seeing themselves through Matthew's portrayal. And it's not even from the neurodivergent community itself. It's from Indian people also who are like, I've never seen an Indian lead before, on a show that I watch. And you have other people that just know what it feels like to not get acceptance or feel like they don't feel like they are trying their best, but no one is valuing them.
Yeah.
And you see that with Matthew's journey, but you also see what happens when he does find his own inner voice and his own confidence. And so you have all these three different groups that are relating all to Matthew. So I really feel like a lot of people are attracted to him just because they see themselves in him. And when you find that as a role model on a television show or something, it kind of gives you like a guide of how you should be or how you want to feel and think. And it gives you this, this map, this strengthened map of how you should approach your life. And it inspires you and it makes you a stronger person.
With this movie, you're also trying to change the perception. And as we are talking about the identity crisis,
Yeah.
a lot of people deal with that, a lot of people go through that, they really doubt, themselves or what they want to present. And so many times the confidence in them gets killed by people around them because they are constantly fed, you have to be in a certain manner. You have to be a certain role model for the certain society they're dealing with. What are your thoughts on that?
It's exactly what you're saying. Like we're
Yeah.
put into this box and we're expected to stay in that box. But sometimes you're not meant to be put in a box. You can be put in a circle. You can be put in a triangle.
Yes.
And it's about finding your own identity and your own value. And I think it's a big thing in our culture, in our society these days of putting our self-worth in someone else's hands. And that shouldn't be the case. And so when you find your inner voice, like I say Matthew does in his journey throughout seasons 1 to 5, you'll see how much he grows from that. I like to compare my character to a lion. I feel like he's kind of cute on the outside, but inside he's got this strong heart. And he wasn't always this strong. He has his fellow followers and disciples that support him. He's got all his friends, and he's found he's made amends to mistakes he's committed in the past, and I think that's a big lesson to learn as well. In finding a journey into your own self-worth is really taking a look, kind of like shining a mirror back on yourself, and realizing things you need to work on because it helps you.
And I have to say this, the kind of movies you have chosen, so far, which is like The Good Boy. And then from
Yeah.
being a good boy,
Yeah.
you have turned into a teen spirit and then The Chosen One. The
Yeah.
titles are also so different and, when the subjects of the, topics of the movie which you're working on. Talking about Good Boy, that was a debut movie, From there to now, where do you see your journey has evolved for you?
You know what's interesting is that I kind of go where the work goes. So for those movies, I just audition and happen to get the part. But where I see myself now is kind of just, continuing to be one of those Indian leads and kind of putting our heritage, our background on the map. We're killing it right now. The Desis are out there, and I want to continue to do that. I also want to continue to take on roles that inspire communities. Just with The Chosen, being kind of the face of the neurodivergent community through my portrayal of Matthew is so important to me. And I've been getting involved with other organizations and philanthropy as well to kind of spread more awareness. So I would love to do more roles that are inclusive like that and kind of just raise more awareness because people want to see themselves. Growing up as a kid, I aligned more with being in India because I saw people that looked like me.
Yeah.
In the States, you weren't seeing roles out there that look like us, you know what I mean? So I never felt inspired. And it's important now to kind of give us that recognition because we belong.
The interesting part, as you said, like you want to take forward the Desi side over there,
Yeah.
of course, with your work and the Indian people, the roots, of course, to, such international projects. The good part is that also Priyanka Chopra is a part
Right.
now
She's
of
killing it,
Bollywood.
yeah.
And she's killing it definitely. So what do you have to say about that, She has definitely, now she's going to work in Citadel too, and she has made herself like a different person altogether. She's worked in
She's
Bollywood.
so inspiring, and I would love to work with her. I think she's a very talented actress, and just even so many actors now kind of crossing over. There was Shahid Kapoor's brother in The Perfect Couple.
Yes,
You're seeing so many people transition, into all these series, and so
Irfan
it's funny because you have the actors from here coming over there, but what many people don't know is that there's actors like me out there that want to come work here. So I wish there was like an open channel of collaboration because I think when you unite in your team, you can be a force to reckon with.
Now, since you're in India, what is that one thing you would like to go and have?
Vada pav.
Really?
Or pani puri,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I love that. I love like, because I'm Gujarati, I love like chevro and like just like the
Khaman.
the bad stuff, like the
Khaman,
very
dokla.
oily, yeah, dok, fafra, tepla,
Fafra, yeah.
gatia, like all that stuff. Just give it to me. So once I'm done with all my press and stuff, you better believe I'm going right there to have
Oh, wow.
all the good
Amazing.
stuff. Yeah.
And that's going to be all out there on social media. Do you want to like also take something with yourself? If you have to take something, from India for yourself, to LA, what would it be and why?
Wow. You're gonna think I'm cheesy, but I'm gonna tell you what first popped into my head.
What?
Don't laugh,
No, I
okay?
wouldn't.
I'm gonna take with myself a full heart. There's nothing I need here, just the fact that I'm back here 14 years later on a TV show that I'm so proud to be a part of. My heart is full. I have always wanted to be an actor, and I told so many people that I always wanted to do this, and I was discouraged left and right. And so it feels like this full circle moment to finally come back here as a strong Desi lead. And yeah, that's one thing I'll take back, because I love being here. And it feels so special right now to be here for the show.
Who's your chosen one?
Who is my chosen one?
Who really like you look up to, or probably you reach out to whenever in times of trouble or happiness? He or she is that your chosen one?
I have been, interestingly, on this journey of working on myself. So I would say right now, my chosen one is the 13-year-old Paris.
Okay.
And he's the one that I'm trying to say thank you for making me who I am. Because I spent a lot of my life and my time ignoring you, or feeling shielded, or feeling like I need to fit into a box. But it's that 13-year-old Paris that made me the Paris I am. So that's my chosen one. It's myself.
So what is that one thought you keep on giving to that 13-year-old Paris all the time whenever you are trying to prep up for the current version of
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
It's that I tell myself, don't let others define you. Like 13-year-old Paris let that happen. So now I'm just reminding him, don't let that happen, and just be you, because
Yeah.
you are enough.
That's nice. And before I let you go, what are your upcoming projects you're focusing on after The Chosen One?
Well, The Chosen is what is taking up my time right now, only because we're kind of a year-round thing, right? So we're about to start our journey releasing season 5, which is so exciting, because there's a lot of not turmoil, but there's a lot of drama happening right now. But it's a beautiful season that we have filmed and worked really hard on. And I'm really excited to roll it out. We have over 800 million people who have seen the show, so they're very excited to watch this. And so that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. Other than that, usually as an actor, you're just auditioning and finding what role suits you or what role they want to cast you in. But, maybe I'll come back to India and work here soon. So never say never.
And I have to ask you this, that how much of a drama do you prefer having in your life, or you prefer avoiding it?
Who? That was a weird response. Who? I tend to not think of things as drama, but I also just know that people react from a very emotional space. So if you just give them that and kind of, just listen to them, you can calm it down. But I tend to not be around that kind of energy. I think working in the film industry is a lot of drama itself, so the less I have in my personal life, the better. But yeah, I like to find people that have a light inside them, kind of like Matthew does.
But lovely, lovely chatting with you, Paris.
Yeah.
And looking forward to see more of you. And I'm sure you're the chosen one right now. We'll explore the chosen side of you.
Yeah.
But lovely chatting with you.
I'll come better prepared, Sumina, next time. But yeah, no, it's
But
such
you
a pleasure.
were, of course.
This first.
But thank you so much for a lovely time and all the very best.